Hello, good afternoon. You're watching Midday Live from the News Hub. I am Portia Gabo. Coming up, the headlines. Education Ministry denies news of reducing number of years in acquiring a degree. And also coming up, land guards terrorizing residents of Pantan, Abokobi and surrounding communities in Ga East in Accra. On the foreign front, U.S. shut down talks stall ahead of deadline. In our very first story, the forum, which comprised 12 labor unions, has expressed displeasure with the calculation of pensions for retirees. Chairman of the forum, Isaac Bampo Ado, wants this corrected by SNIT soon.
Forum of public sector registered pension schemes comprising the health sector occupational pension scheme set up by the Health Services Workers Union, Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, Ghana Medical Association, Ghana Physician Assistants Association, and Government Hospital Pharmacists Association, and the Ghana Education Service Occupational Scheme set up by the Ghana National Association of Teachers, Teachers and Education Workers Union, TEWU, National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, and Coalition of Concerned Teachers, Ghana, CCT. Judicial Service Occupational Pension Scheme, set up by the Judicial Services Staff Association of Ghana, JUSAC, and the Hedge Master Trust Occupational Pension Scheme, set up by the Civil and Local Government Staff Association, Ghana, CLOSA, is deeply worried about the deafening silence from SNIT in implementing agreed modalities in the computation of past credits.
Daniel Opoko is our labor correspondent and joins us via phone. And Daniel, what exactly is the forum worried about pensions and how is it calculated?
Right. Good afternoon to you and good afternoon to our colleagues here. Now, basically, the members of the forum are extremely concerned about the calculations meant for pensioners. Now, they raised a key ingredient which has to do with the calculation for past credit. Past credit in the pensions are basically is about those who were due for retirement, and because some amendments were done to the current pensions at 760, their pensions are currently within the bosom of SNIT. And SNIT is supposed to release those amounts to their various fund trustees for them to onward to their various fund money. Currently, as I speak to you, according to the forum, SNIT has not been able to do that. And since 2010, they have consistently been complaining. They have also complained to the regulator, who is the National Pensions Regulatory Authority, and up to now, responses have not come from the office of these two houses. Currently, as I speak to you, they have given SNIT up to the end of this month for them to ensure that correct calculations are done to their members, or they will not be dated, or they will find legal ways to address their problem.
So, Daniel, they are yet to get a reaction from SNIT.
Exactly. We are yet to get a reaction from SNIT, but from last week, since we started following up this story, our sources from SNIT indicate that SNIT wants to set up a committee for them to be able to see and go through whether indeed the concerns of the forum are justified. And also, what we are also gathering is that the current board of SNIT is also asking the forum to present to them a petition indicating, tabulating exactly what they want SNIT to look at. That's basically what our source is saying us from SNIT. And we are hoping that hopefully by the end of this year, they should be able to make a consensus and get some of these issues resolved. And first, let me quickly to add that the calculation of past credit by SNIT, which SNIT, according to the forum, has been using wrong calculations, actually have affected some of their members. According to them, most of them who retired after 35 years of active service, some of them took home 2,300 Ghana cedis. And because the calculations have not been done by Senate, their retirement package has been affected, and they are asking Senate to facilitate the correct calculations so that everything that they have lost currently will be given back to them.
Thank you very much, Daniel Opoku, and he is our labor correspondent. You're still watching Midday Live. Let's now continue with education. And the sector minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, says government will consult with university heads on the duration of university education. He spoke at a lecture organized by Dankwa Institute.
In last year, there were 35,000 applicants for 40,000 places, a record number. Places up. Why? Because the average Ghanaian had realized that things have changed. We've established the National Teaching Council, you hoped, in the 2008 Act. We've established the National Curriculum and Assessment Body as per the 2008 Act. And we have established and strengthened and piloted and upscaling the National Inspectorate Board. Because the difference between the public schools in the basic school level and the private school was supervision. Everywhere in the world, undergrads are 3 years, not 4 years. Why should we spend 4 years doing undergrad? We'll sit down with the university lecturers and start challenging them.
Well, let's delve more into this, and joining me in the studio is Dr. Prince Armah. Dr. Prince Armah, good afternoon and thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon.
First of all, are there moves by government to make junior high school and senior high school diploma awarding institutions?
Well, thanks very much and good afternoon to your cherished viewers. As far as I am concerned, as far as I know, with my working relation with the Ministry of Education, there is no such arrangement. I have not seen any such policy document or such policy intention. What I do know, and which is also part of the work that myself and one other senior colleague at the university in Winneba have put forward to the ministry. And that has to do with the fact that the people who go to secondary school need to be properly prepared, to be able to fit into society. Secondary education is not just for the purpose of writing the examination and going to university. It is an entry point to university, which is one purpose. Also an entry point to technical vocational education, training, entrepreneurship, agriculture, business, and apprenticeship. And also an exit point to the world of work. And therefore, if we are preparing our secondary school people, we must prepare them comprehensively to be able to, for us to be able to identify the individual talents and needs of these young people and know those who have the cognitive ability to do rigorous academic work, have that pathway of going to university and tertiary education in general. So that's the consideration, the proposal that we have put forward. And in that, there's a recommendation that we need to sit down as a country to look at the assessment system. Once you reform the curriculum, it has an implication on the assessment system. The current assessment system, which is the West Africa Senior Secondary School examination, doesn't make sense in terms of preparing a holistic person for the country, especially at that age. Why am I saying so? We are saying that because prior to the 1987 reforms that brought the WASI, or that brought the secondary school system, the A-level, okay, was the entry examination, or was the matriculation examination for going to university. If you don't want to go to university, you finish your middle school, you can find yourself work and do something else aside that. If you want to go to university, you go on, do your GCE O-level, and then proceed to go and do your A-level. When that system was scrapped and replaced with secondary school, WASI, or senior secondary school certificate examination, became the university entrance exams. And since then, it has become the basis for us to judge whether our young people have done well or not, and absolutely not proper. Secondary education is not only for people to write university entrance examination and go and then go to university. We need to prepare them adequately. So I think from what the ministry, the minister says, based on the videos that has gone around and the readings as well, it is clear that what the minister intends to do, or what the ministry intends to do rather, is to ensure that the young people are adequately prepared to fit into the job market, and also for those who have the cognitive ability to continue to do academic work, they can continue like that, just as is happening in the system that we have modeled our education system to, like in the UK. And therefore, they write an examination, probably a certification examination, that they have finished secondary school. And but for that reason, they have met certain minimum standards that a young person who has finished secondary school should be able to demonstrate. Maybe, for example, being empathetic, being tolerant, being collaborative, being investigative, and problem solving, critical thinker. If you set that standard and then an exams is set and the certification is provided, that certificate, I'm sure, is what he was referring to. In America, they call it high school diploma. In the UK, it is called general certificate for secondary education.
So, Dr. Prince Sama, what is the minister suggesting? That we should relook the whole educational system?
Clearly, he has said that, and I've listened to him often on many of the ideas on the reforms. And he's very keen in ensuring that we comprehensively reform our education system and look at it from a very holistic perspective. You see, education system is not static. It is dynamic, and it's a process, and it has to always be responsive to the needs of the 21st century. In the 21st century, the kind of expectation and skills and values and attitude that we need are not similar to the 20th century. So we need people who are problem solvers, we need people who are critical thinkers, and that will result in the reform of the curriculum that the young people experiences. And that's exactly what he was referring to in the conversation, so that which will lead into a certification that the Americans call high school diploma.
So do the reforms suggest that, let's look at university education, reducing it from 4 years to 3 years?
Well, again, from my understanding of what he said, clearly it is possible that university the undergraduate programs can be done in 3 years. We have done it before, clearly. There's evidence all over. In the UK, if you do A-level, many of the programs 3 years. In Ghana, prior to the replacement of replacement of A-level with SSCE, we're doing 3 years. What it means, therefore, is that it has a cascading effect in the curriculum that the young people would experience. It means that the secondary school people must be adequately prepared in order to do a 3-year undergraduate program. And I think that it would be a cost-saving mechanism for the country. But that is something that is subject to discussion and has to be interrogated by all relevant stakeholders.
Thank you very much for your time.
Many
and
thanks.
I've been speaking to Dr. Prince. Are you still watching Midday Live? Let's now continue with the rest of our stories. And residents of Pantana, Bokobi and surrounding communities in the Ga East municipality are living in a state of extreme fear and distress at the hands of land guards. For some time now, these land guards have been on the rampage, destroying property belonging to some residents in the area. Thank you, Doc.
In communities, they have demolished and buildings, creating fear and panic among residents. The land guards also extort money from property owners and developers. According to some of the residents, the police and local authorities are not helping to bring an end to the menace of land guards. A resident and a retired army officer, Samuel Gozi, indicated these land guards double as armed robbers at night.
We don't even sleep. Sleepless night that we are having. Our children going to school become difficult. People's property that they've acquired for so many years, they will only use one day to destroy it. Anybody who encroaches on my land, I have a gun, I have lances it. So anybody who comes there, whatever happens, is out of the order.
This area used to be a recreation center. It has been razed down by the land guards. A resident, Ben Tete, noted the land guards do not care about documents covering property they destroy.
It has been a threat, so we, the residents over here, we made an association. But we could see that the association is not holding any longer because they'll come and threaten you.
Another resident, David Gray, observed their complaints to the police and the local authority have fallen on deaf ears.
It's a security threat to the whole community. We've gone to the police, we've gone to the BNI. I don't know which other office I have not gone or which other office has not even received letters. And day in, day out, you'd see people's buildings and fence walls being demolished.
Inspector General of Police David Asante-Apietu assured the country last year that the police administration will deal with the land guard menace.
Any act of land guards and people calling themselves vigilantes that will infringe upon the laws of the land shall be met with the full might of the Ghana Police Service. The job of the police is to enforce the law without fear or favor. The police are determined to respect the Constitution in maintaining law and order with high degree of impartiality and professionalism.
Just last week, some land guards led by an officer were arrested in the Kaswa Nyenyano area.
Meanwhile, the Abokobi District Police Commander Superintendent Edward Tete has assured residents living in and around Abokobi of protection from land guards. Rampaging land guards on Friday moved into the community and demolished structures, including fence walls and event centers, and sent panicking residents running for their lives. He spoke via phone on 3FM.
Whatever complaint they bring, I make sure I take it up. So far, we have sent about 3 or 4 land guards to, to court. And even recently, we published one who was terrorizing the indigenes or the community. We published him and then we sent him to court. And currently, the case is in court. Yes, police cannot be everywhere at the same time. So whenever they realize this thing is going on, they should quickly inform the police. Or the emergency numbers are there, 191 or 18555. They can call and then immediately the patrol team will get there and then pick the land guards. And so far, those that we have sent to court, this is the way and manner we dealt with them. They call and then immediately the patrol team gets there and then they pick them.
Still on the issue of land guards, a security and safety expert and CEO of Security Warehouse Limited, Adam Bona, has called for a comprehensive approach in dealing with the land guard menace in the country. He spoke on TV3's Late News.
It's been difficult dealing with this land guard issue. I mean, it's been with us for several years, and it has to do with, sometimes it has to do with litigation. You realize that one person will have to buy the land from 2-3 chiefs. And when that happens, you go to the police station and the police is not sure of who is the actual owner of the particular land. And so one of the suggestions that some of us have propounded or have proposed is to have a task force that probably would have to look like the anti-galamsey task force, where we would have a land guards, a task force, joint security task force to deal with this issue of land guardism in the country. It's becoming a canker. I listened to the narrative, and one of the men or one of the landowners did say he has a gun. My advice is that those who have firearms should not usually come up publicly to talk about them, because when you do that and they have to attack you, they come in hard. But that is to say that people are beginning to arm themselves, and these land guards, most of them are armed. And so for me, I think if we have something that looks like the anti-galamsey task force, you realize that the anti-galamsey task force, to a very large extent, were successful in, stopping partially the destruction of our water bodies and the environment. And so if we can have this, it would help us, deal with this land guardism in the country. Government can do us a lot better. The executive, the security, the state security actors, the National Security Council, the police, all of them should come together. The military, let's have a joint, anti-land guard security task force. That would be on standby at various locations, dealing with this canker once and for all. Once that is done, definitely this joint security task force, their firepower would be probably more better than the land guards.
You're still watching Midday Live. Let's now go to the Western region where the prime suspect in the widely publicized case of kidnappings in the Sekondi Takoradi metropolis was Samuel Wills has alleged a CID officer helped him to escape. He told the Takoradi Market Circle District Court he will be able to identify the police CID when paraded. Samuel Wills also pleaded with the court to be given time for him to produce Kwesi. Presiding Judge Michael Ampedu has therefore adjourned the case to Monday, February 18 for the said Kwesi to be produced.
Finally, the case involving prime suspect Samuel Wills has been heard by the Takoradi District Court. Now, some weeks back, the case had to be halted because we are told that Samuel Wills was in Accra assisting in further investigations to unravel the whereabouts of the 3 kidnapped girls. This morning, the case was called at the Takoradi Market Circle District Court, presided over by His Worship Michael Ampedu. And in the course of the interrogation, Samuel Wills mentioned that he was able to escape with the help of one Kwesi and also a CID that he is yet to identify. According to him, Kwesi was the one that was doing the cutting, and he was also applying the oil to make the rod very malleable for it to be cut. Now, the court presided over by His Worship Michael Ampedu has therefore given Samuel Wills 1 week to produce the said Kwesi and also the CID person to help in investigations. According to Samuel Wills, the 2 persons will bear witness to the fact that he was able to break lawful custody. Now, we've been interacting with family members of the kidnapped girls, and they are not too happy about the turn of events.
See, I'm Muhuma. These are young can listen to this. These are unqualified years na sami because this has been a work where your car bent and uncle Tim. Until my hair about and mamma the master and Jimum Abano, man, in Pinfon, on far, Guano, some of these are words he would be a good day. Young Foncho, no young call and Mano, one out here because he may be a Mano. No, I doesn't can change either day, Yambano, on your ha, some day, Yabon Penebasa. What touch a debut? What's the number on the 18th?
They have to produce my sister seriously, or else massive strike will go on in Western region.
Don't you believe in the judicial system?
I don't. The way things are going, I don't know whether to believe or not, because it's like they are joking. See, we came here 5 minutes. They have changed the case. So what is going on? What is going on? They are giving this guy royal treats or something. We don't like what is going on. Seriously, we don't like it.
You're still watching Midday Live. Let's now go to the Bonafo region where the Nkranza Traditional Council has registered their protest over claims of being sidelined in the processes leading to the creation of the Bona East region. Prior to the conference, a youth leader, Nananya Akwabibio, spoke to TV3.
He attributed the reasons for sidelining them to spurious claims that the Nkranza people are Ashantis and do not deserve to be given attention in the scheme of things. He suggested that if they are not recognized in the region as part of the people, they are appealing to the Asantehene to take them back to the Ashanti region.
Sankrasamai, I was assassin near Kitaman 9. Nasa Obedia Bron, what the capital free and some dia. Nasa di Soyeno, Sana Biabe. Sadia Soyano, Sana Biabe. Yakatra, Abiam Danso. Yakatra Abiam Danso. When I saw Yadi Petition Mao, Safakoma Mampaini. Abiam, William Mampaini free. Mampaini be a baby Wadafo. Yadim Sakasama, Nanaku for the Che. Abiam. So one to me, Uncle can't tell Mampaini. I'm not fair capital, my hair, and Mancasa. Sir. When I did this, you know, that's why.
And Larry Parkway Moses is our Bonafo regional correspondent. And Larry, what are the chiefs saying?
Yeah, thanks, Portia. We just finished with the press conference by the chiefs and people of the Nkranza Traditional Council. What they are saying is that they are disappointed in His Excellency the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. They are also disappointed in the Deputy Minister for Regional Reorganization, Martin Ajay Kosa, because they believe that because Martin Ajay hails from Techiman, that is why he was able to, as it were, pave his way through to get the regional capital for the Bono East in Techiman. What they are saying is that since the inception of the proposed Bono East region, the commission never accepted any petition from the Nkranza Traditional Council. They also said that even the proposal to change the name from Brong, that is the B-R-O-N-G, to Bono, that is the B-O-N-O, was not accepted by the Nkranza Traditional Council. They made a petition, their petition was thrown away. Now, when it comes to the landmass, that is what they are saying. The landmass, the population, and the development, what the chiefs are saying that Techiman doesn't come near to Nkranza. Now, they are saying that if the president doesn't take heed to the advice and give the regional capital to Techiman, now it will be the same as giving the capital back to Sunyani, because they are talking about the proximity. Now, looking at inhabitants coming from Yeji, over 4 to 5 hours journey to Techiman is the same like going to Sunyani. So they are saying that for the central part of Bono East region is Nkranza, and they deserve the region. They also debunked that notion that people are speculating that when you give the Nkranza the capital, that means you are giving back the land to Asantehene, because it is believed that the people of Nkranza owe allegiance to the Asantehene, the Asante region. So it's a heated, atmosphere here in the Nkranza municipality. Lots and lots of people gathered for this press conference. The security was also high. But the chiefs are saying that they are not going to rest after the press conference. They are moving straight to Accra tomorrow morning to also engage all stakeholders in Accra, including the radio stations and TV stations, and formally hand over a petition to His Excellency the President before the 13th of February, that is coming Wednesday. The CI is presented to the Bono East and the Ahafo region, Portia.
Larry, President Akufo-Addo is expected to announce the regional capitals on February 12th. So why have they come out prior to the announcement of the regional capitals?
I asked the spokesperson, and what he said was that they thought that their petition has been received by His Excellency the President, only for them to be called and by the regional minister. The regional minister said their petition is nowhere to be found. So they were surprised. That is why they have to come out today and hold the current press conference. Portia.
Thank you very much for your time. And Larry Kwesi Moses is Abuna for regional correspondent. Let's go to the Ashanti region, and the Regional Security Council and the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly are carrying through an exercise to open up roads around the new KGTR market to traffic. But attempts to get hawkers and traders relocated to satellite markets are yet to be complied. Well, Monday morning was a show of survival of the fittest as the hawkers scrambled for trading spaces when fencing around the redeveloped KGTR were being removed. And some lied and said they have marked self-acclaimed spaces, while others laid polythene materials to secure places on pavements.
We are coming to you here at the Central Business District of Kumasi. About 3 years ago, all the roads leading around the redeveloped markets were blocked to vehicular and human traffic. This was to ensure that all the auxiliary roads surrounding the market were rehabilitated to make them more motorable. The Regional Security Council, that is the Ashanti Regional Security Council, gave traders trading along those routes 2 weeks ultimatum to move out of those areas so that this morning they can make way for vehicles to ply through. Some security men are also here awaiting the order from the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly for the access to be created. I have the Kumasi Metropolitan PRO here with me, Godwin Okumanyami, who will give us a brief as to how the whole process.
We have men on the ground who are removing the hoarding. Just as that is done, or when we are done with the removal of the hoarding, obviously the road is going to be open today. And we want to still communicate to the public that it is only the road that is being open to traffic today and not the official opening of the project. We've done a lot of education expecting traders not to come around the project site for trading. That is, those who want to sell on pavement and open spaces around the project are to note that it is strictly prohibited for them to do so.
When this hoarding or blocked were being mounted, I quite remember that it was done at dawn. So the following morning when we all came to town, we saw that we couldn't move through the access routes. As at this morning, nothing shows that you are pulling it off. How risky will it be if you want to pull this off as people are walking in and out of the facility?
Well, like I stated, we have our own operational plan, and that is exactly what we are following. Like I stated, the first one has to do with the cleaning. This morning you could see that the security are all around. All the security agencies are here to assist us. So the next thing we want to do is the actual opening of the road. But you could see that the hoarding itself is being removed as of now.
Pacho, we dey utwem. Me jidi say ye bie kwan no. Ama onho ato kakra den na wo
Kumasi ayefe dodo. Kumasi ayefe aban na ya adi enyame hira no.
De eye me fe kura ne se yansu Kumasi asantema yenya kajetia yedina tene wa abrochire nyina. Na nne otumfo ne nkrofo wo mu atena se ne regional minister wo mu atimi abie ama kwan ya damu de me fe kura asante no ta kwan ya bie atumu na e ka atimi kwa me ni je ho pa sanse go suro na fa ha no na nye
unua ma na samre o ma hyase ma ki so betant na ha ton ade na dan na obeka kiro
bi pa wo mu chew wo mu nya abotre odman kuma ba ade no sade esitie no ye hye bibia wo ne mra kwa nso ma ye mfa ni eden ane ye ne ya de ho ane ye pese ye beye bibia agena ko obi kobu obi a akofo wo hawa bre no wo mu nya abotre ni anye we nyina nwie ye wi a ye bepesi bre ama wo matena na so wo ma anto ye bu ase na bibi ko si sesi ya ye bu otumfo ani mase.
These are some jubilant women who are saying that what has been done here is indeed a beautiful market. And this trader is appealing to her colleague traders that they should not rush to secure trading places at where they've not been authorized to trade, so that at the end of the day, when the authorities are allocating the spaces, the shops, they can also be allocated some spaces to trade and shop. Beatrice Piogabra, TV3 News, Edum.
Thank you very much, Beatrice. Coming up is the MTN video report, and today our citizen journalist Mustafa Hin reports on a stalled school block project at Asen Ahweaso in the Central Region.
This is the structure of Asen Ahweaso JHS in the Asen North Municipality in Central Region. This building was demolished way back closer to 2 years ago because of the nature of the school. They tried to put up a new building, so they contacted the DC of the area so that the town can also use their labor to mold the blocks, and they use communal labor to put up the new building. So this is the structure of the new building that, with the help of the SEMA and then the DC, they were able to put up. And up to now, this is the state of the building, closer to 2 years. So we are appealing to the government if they can help us to get a new structure or new GHS for our children. I am Mustafa Ahin, reporting from Asen Ahweaso in the Asen North Municipality in the Central Region.
Thank you very much, Mustafa. You can also send your video report via WhatsApp 055-143-3044. You're still watching Midday Live from the News Hub. We have more news coming up shortly. Do stay with us. In business this afternoon, the Association of Ghana Industries has launched founder late Dr. Esther Okulu with a call on the youth to emulate her good principles. The launch, which was held in Accra, was to celebrate her achievements globally.
Activities lined up for the planned centenary celebration include a memorial service to be held at Pekijake on March 23. There would also be an inaugural lecture and launch of the Estoklu Memorial Foundation scheduled for April this year, as well as a Thanksgiving service proposed to be on April 28 at the Agre Chapel at Chimoto School. The late Dr. Esther Oklu was born on April 18, 1919 and passed on in March 2002. Her hard work,
strong persuasive skills. I recall the latter parts of her life in AGI. She organized a women group to meet, and they were going to organize a seminar. And the woman said, but this is a big seminar, we don't have money, how are we going to do it? She said, don't worry, just think of the planning. We don't know how it happened. Dr. Estoklu managed to get the French ambassador at the time to come for the event. The man came and pledged $10,000 out of nowhere.
She held several positions in the public service, including the first executive chairperson of the National Food and Nutrition Board in 1963 and a member of the Council of State in the Third Republic of Ghana between 1979 and 1981.
In other business news, the Abosiokai spare parts dealers are demanding urgent intervention to shore up the value of the cedi against the dollar. The co-chair of the Abosiokai Spare Parts Dealers Association, Clement Boateng, has warned they would have no option than to pass the increase in prices of imported spare parts to the consumer.
The cedi's woes has been influenced by the sudden demand for dollars by businesses in the country to finance their currency, trading at is currently trading between 5 cedis and 5 cedis 10 pesos to a dollar. According to co-chair of the Abosiokai Spare Parts Dealers Association, Clement Boateng, government must take steps to urgently address the falling value of the cedi.
It's not helping businesses in general at all, not even the spare parts industry alone. Because as you are aware, every businessman is not a Father Christmas, and once the cedi continue to depreciate, it means at any point in time that you want to go in for dollars, you need to add more cedis before you can go in for more dollars. Currently, dollar is selling at 5 cedis 10 pesos. So if you are going for $1,000, which means you need 5,100 Ghana cedis, to go in for $1,000. And when it happens like that, you have to pass on the cost to the consumer.
He said, coupled with the low sales recorded over the last 8 months, the cost of imported spare parts is increasing their losses.
We don't make sales. We don't make sales because prices of goods are high as a result of the fluctuation of the currency. So the high time the government, do something about it, the better. You are aware that even at the ports, they use the foreign exchange in calculating the duties, even though it's being converted into cedis for us to pay. And once there is a review of the exchange rates at the ports every week, once the cedi continues to fluctuate and its value falls, it affects whatever you have to pay at the ports.
The change in the prices of spare parts is not as rapid as some other goods on the market, but the spare parts dealers say they will have no option than to increase prices if the situation persists. Many are confident that the Bank of Ghana's decision to inject some $670 million would shore up the value of the cedi in the coming weeks.
And that's it for business news. Up next is sports news with Yao Ofusulabi. And winner of Talented Kids Season 8, Erica Tando, aka DJ Switch, on Sunday thrilled African leaders as she performed at the AU headquarters in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The songs played by DJ Switch were simply irresistible and patrons enjoyed the moment. The award-winning disc jockey's performance was on the sidelines of the 32nd Ordinary Session of the Assembly of Heads of State and Government of the African Union. Her performance was admired by all present. In 2018, DJ Switch chalked a major milestone when she performed at the goalkeepers meeting hosted by the Bill Gates Foundation in New York. Her performance was admired by all, including the French President Emmanuel Macron, Naomi Campbell, and Bill Gates. In other sad news, legendary record producer and artist repertoire manager of xylophone music, Willie Roy, has passed on. His body was found in his apartment at the Royal Rochester Hotel at East Legon on Sunday. Reports say security officers forcibly broke into his room when he was not seen for a greater part of Sunday, only to find his lifeless body on the floor. The true cause of his death is yet to be ascertained. As of now, the body has been deposited at the police hospital morgue in Accra. Some Ghanaians have taken to social media to pay tribute, and Dr. Crime tweeted, "Wow, Willie Roy, bad news, I'm sad." DJ Shaker also wrote, "Willie Roy, till we meet again, rest in eternal peace." Xylophone media and everyone will miss you for your critics, kind hearts, and all the moments spent together. Rest well, Mr. Roy. Caroline Sampson said, "Rest in peace, Uncle." May he rest in peace. And that's it for Midday Live. Thanks so much for your company. I am Portia Gabo. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Good afternoon.